If your subconscious could speak to you in words, not in flashes of emotion or tension in your chest, or that repeating situation you keep falling into, what do you think it would say? Would it scream? Would it cry? Or would it simply whisper what it's been trying to tell you for years? I'm not trying to stop you. I'm trying to protect you. You see, we've been told that the subconscious is a set of limitations, that it's what holds us back, sabotages our progress, and repeats the past. But the truth is much more beautiful and more uncomfortable. The subconscious isn't your enemy, it's your most loyal witness, the part of you that never forgot what hurt, the part of you that still echoes the unresolved, the unseen, the unloved. And here's the quantum truth. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what your subconscious is broadcasting constantly, consistently, and with perfect honesty. So while your conscious mind is trying to manifest abundance, love, purpose, your subconscious might still be holding the frequency of lack, rejection, and fear, not because it wants to punish you, but because it remembers how that frequency once kept you safe. It remembers the moment you decided to stay quiet instead of speak. It remembers the time you dimmed your light to survive the room. It remembers the belief that being invisible was the only way to be accepted. And now every time you try to break that pattern, every time you get close to something different, the subconscious pulls you back, not because it hates your evolution, but because it fears you'll forget what once protected you. This video is a message, but not just from me. It's a decoding of the messages you've been sending yourself through your patterns, your pain, your pause. It's a guide to understanding why you've been stuck even though you've done everything right. You've journaled, visualized, meditated, you've read the books, repeated the affirmations, listened to every quantum explanation of manifestation, and still you loop. Still. You collapse right before it lands. Still you question yourself even while trying to vibrate at the highest frequency. If this is you, this is your video. In this video, we're going to explore why your subconscious isn't actually sabotaging you. It's communicating with you. Every hesitation, every loop, every time you pull back just before the leap, it's not failure. It's language. It's your system trying to tell you something you haven't fully heard yet. And the quantum field. It's not just reading your thoughts or your energy on the surface, whereas it's mirroring back your unresolved emotional signatures, the echoes of past experiences that still vibrate beneath the surface of your intentions. We'll talk about why fear and resistance almost always spike just before a breakthrough, and how that's not a sign that something's wrong, but that something is waking up. We'll go deep into what it truly means to break old patterns, not just mentally reframing them, but releasing their hold on your body, your nervous system, and your vibrational identity. And most importantly, we'll begin to understand how to tune your energetic signal not from a place of fear, but from the frequency of your future self. A place that feels grounded, embodied, and stable, not forced. You're going to see yourself differently by the end of this, because this isn't about fixing you. It's about hearing the parts you've ignored and realizing they weren't holding you back. They were holding your attention until you were ready to listen. So before we move forward, I want you to ask yourself something, not from your mind, from your body, from the part of you that speaks in emotion. What pattern keeps showing up? Not because you're failing, but because it's still trying to say something. What keeps returning? Not to punish you, but to protect you from jumping too far, too fast without integration. That's where we begin. The subconscious doesn't speak in words. It speaks in memory, in rhythm, in patterns. It loops you through the same experiences, not because you're cursed, not because you're weak, but because it's trying to keep you close to what's familiar. That's what safety has meant for most of your life. Familiarity. Even if what's familiar is pain, rejection, scarcity, or silence, to the subconscious known is safe. And this is where the quantum field comes in. Because the field, like the subconscious, doesn't judge. It reflects. It takes the energetic signal you're broadcasting and responds in kind, amplifying whatever state your body and heart are most familiar with. This is one of the most misunderstood truths about manifestation. We think the universe is withholding. We think we're being tested or ignored. But in truth, the quantum field is profoundly loyal. It mirrors you with absolute accuracy. And if the subconscious is still anchored to old frequencies, the field will show you reflections of those frequencies again and again. That's not punishment, that's coherence. That's vibration made visible. That's energy-seeking resolution. According to Bruce Lipton, your subconscious is not just a mental structure. It's a biological one stored in your nervous system, in your cells, in your posture, your breath, your tone of voice. Everything you do is an extension of the patterns you've absorbed from childhood culture, trauma, and repetition. And the field, as Deepak Chopra describes it, is a unified intelligence that responds to the language of feeling more than the language of thought. So when your body carries the vibration of abandonment, even if your mind is asking for love, the field feels the disconnect and echoes what's more deeply encoded. And yet none of this is permanent. The beauty of the quantum field is that it's always available for retuning. Just as you can broadcast fear, you can broadcast trust. Just as you can repeat survival, you can radiate expansion. The signal can change, but only when you become aware of what it's currently saying. The issue is that most people try to override their subconscious with positive thinking. They slap affirmations over unresolved trauma. They meditate to escape their body instead of meet it. They visualize a future that they don't actually believe they deserve, and the field listens not to your words, but to your resonance. Joe Dispenza teaches that the field responds to a coherent signal, one where thought, feeling, and action are aligned. And if your thoughts are saying abundance, but your emotions are still gripped by fear, and your body is contracting in shame, your signal is fragmented, incoherent, and the field can only mirror what is stable within you. So what do most people experience? The same kind of relationship over and over, the same moments of self-doubt, the same plateau in finances, the same inner voice saying not yet, not enough, don't go too far, and they think they're broken, but what they really are is entangled. Still connected vibrationally to a previous version of themselves, one that learned how to survive in limitation. The field doesn't hold you there, it just meets you there. Let's make this even clearer. Imagine the field as a frequency tuner. It doesn't care what you ask for, it locks onto what you are. So if your subconscious is looping on a belief like good things never last, the field doesn't punish you. It shows you situations where good things begin and then slip away. Not because you're manifesting failure, but because you haven't shifted the belief that keeps broadcasting instability. Now here's the invitation. What if that resistance you've been feeling isn't failure but a message? What if those moments when you pull back aren't signs that you're weak, but signals that your field is trying to resolve something unresolved? What if the repetition is communication? The subconscious wants integration. It wants release, but it can't do that through suppression or control. It can only do that when you slow down enough to hear the vibration beneath the thought. And the field in its infinite intelligence will continue to bring you the same lesson until you respond with a new signal, not from force, but from recognition, from presence, from embodiment. So when life keeps offering you the same experience again and again, not because you want it, but because you haven't yet fully heard it, it's not personal, it's not punishment, it's not sabotage. It's the most precise, compassionate reflection of what still needs your presence. Patterns don't repeat to trap you. They repeat to reveal what hasn't yet been seen through new eyes, felt through an open heart, or held without resistance. They come back not to break you down, but to break something open. Your subconscious isn't pulling you backwards to stop you. It's getting you inward to retune you. Because once the message is heard, not just by your mind, but by your entire field, you stop looping. The signal shifts. And when the signal shifts, so does your reality. There's a reason you feel the most fear, the most resistance, and the deepest doubt right before something finally changes. That intense internal contraction, that sudden wave of maybe I'm not ready, that's not weakness. It's a sign that your system is recalibrating. Because when you start to break the vibrational agreement you've had with your past, when you stop resonating with the old frequency that once kept you safe, your subconscious doesn't just quietly step aside. It speaks up not to punish you, but to make sure you've really heard everything it tried to teach you. Every time you edge closer to the version of you who loves fully, creates freely, receives with ease, you can feel it. Something rises. The voice, the fear, the sensation in your chest that says, don't go there, it's not safe, that's not for you. And we often interpret that as a block. But what if that's not a block at all? What if that's the part of you that survived? Saying, hey,